Coach, what's your message to the team over the next 6 weeks?
A very simple message. Don't lose what we've gained. Obviously, be smart off the field and come back focused. Very simple.
Does today's go as planned? Is you scripted to take it easy on some of the bets?
Absolutely. It was more of a situational football practice today. I gave Tom about 30 minutes of the practice. We had one 7 on and one move the ball and 1 2 minutes. So, yeah, it's been good work. It's the last day of the offseason, so I didn't want to chance some of the veterans get nicked.
Marquette was able to punt a lot today. How do you feel he's hit the ball the last month or so?
He's a weapon, and obviously, when you want to play great defense, having a great punter is always critical. He has been engaged. He's fun to be around. He's focused, and in my opinion, his better years are ahead of him.
How do you spend these next 6 weeks?
I'm sorry?
How do you spend these next 6 weeks?
How do I spend it? Well, I'll be here next week, and after that week, I'll be with the family. Natalie's she's going to be a senior in high school. She's got some college visits: Stanford, UCLA, USC. Very smart kid, so I'm excited for her.
I know there's no pads, Vance, and I don't know how much you can tell just by watching this, but does your opinion of some of your rookies that came in maybe change over this break about how much you thought you could maybe use them or where they are heading into camp, that maybe they're a little further, somebody than you thought?
I think between the draft evaluation and watching those guys in phase 2 and phase 3, it's what we thought with most guys. Obviously, with the offensive line and the running backs, it's hard to tell without pads. But our skill guys, our eval was right, on those guys. So, we've got a bunch of young guys that should help us this year. Including last year's draft class. Those guys have gotten better, with each phase of the offseason also. So.
I was wondering if anybody's better than you kind of thought.
Anyone better?
Pick things up quicker than you thought. Maybe.
It's been a number of guys that's done a pretty good job this offseason.
Do you expect to experiment much in the offensive line when camp starts, or do you have a group in mind?
We have a group in mind, but you have to figure out who can play multiple positions. That's fundamental, right? So, you want guys who can swing between guard and tackle and between center and guard. So that's going to happen. But you want to find 5 guys that you can count on.
You spoke at the end of last season about coaching the coaches better. How would you say you've done that through off-season workouts, or does it take to
That's been fine. Everyone's been engaged, including the coaches. So that's been good. Everyone's coaching hard, coaching with one purpose, and that's to win a championship.
With Valdir and Leary talking about the O-line, are they going to be full go at the start of camp? Is anybody in danger of being on PUP, or where do they?
Well, those 2 guys will be ready for training camp.
Okay.
We've got one guy, probably Jordan Taylor, who will be a PUP guy.
You talked about this before.
Yes.
Back to the rookies. The rookie playing early, is that more mental or physical?
I think it's more mental early on, obviously more physical when you're in week 14 and week 15, but I think it's more mental, and I think for most rookies, figuring out what to do is always their first task. Physically, rookies are usually your fastest, healthiest players in your camp. So physically, those guys always compete fine, but the mental part of it is where they have to make their strides. So, yes, the mental part is always the part you have to get over as a rookie.
Follow up on Eric's question about you being a second year full off season. What do you think you did better this time around?
Well, obviously, you get better with time. Time on the job. What I did better, I'm not sure, but I think everyone's focused. I'm focused on getting it right. So what I did better, I'm not sure, but it was a good off season. We'll see in the fall if I got better. It all comes down to wins and losses.
How much different does this year feel at this time than last year?
For me?
Yeah, and the entire team.
Entire team. I think the focus has been, a lot better. After going 5-11, guys, everyone is focused. Everyone wants to obviously improve. Last year was a tough year, so the guys who returned understand that it's hard to win this league. And even when you start 3-1, you have to continue to work and grind and get better every day. If you don't, you can lose 7, 8 in a row. So we understand that. So I think everyone has understanding that, hey, it's going to take hard work and it's going to be continuous. It won't stop.
Last year, you guys don't know who your quarterback's going to be through this period of time. You go in and install this offense with Case in mind. How much of that did you see through this phase and this kind of offseason that it was designed for him, and how much different is it, I guess, than last year?
That makes a huge difference, especially for the players, for your receivers, for your offensive line, hearing the same cadence every day, working with the same quarterback every day. It's huge for Billy, as a coordinator, to build his system around one quarterback. Obviously, you want a system to fit all of your quarterbacks, but that's almost impossible sometimes because of different skill sets. So having Case as a starter has definitely helped matters.
You were in this game a long time before last season.
Yeah.
But going through 6, 7, 8 losses, what did you learn most about yourself?
Well, I'm a tough guy. That's I don't know. It's
Tougher than you thought?
I think last year was a teaching moment for me. When you lose, that many games in a row, my job is to fix it quicker. And good teams don't lose, 3 and 4 games in a row. So that's on me, so I can do better there, and I will do better. Hopefully we don't have those kind of lose streaks again, but, if we do have some adversity, it's my job to fix it quicker. So, what I've learned, I don't know yet, but I know I have to fix it quicker, and that's my job.
You minimize the tough times, or you shorten the tough times. You get out of the slump quicker.
Right. Yeah, that's my job, and you're going to have adversity in this league. Every team last year had adversity, even Philly, who won the championship. They lost their tackle, they lost their quarterback. So it's the coach's job, my job and the coach's job to fix it quicker, and that we have to do in this league, because it's going to be hard times. It's not going to be all roses next year.
Whether it's the first week or the 10th week.
Absolutely, it's going to be hard times. So it's my job to fix it quicker.
Hey, Vance, some teams in this league are doing 2 joint practices during camp.
2 joint practices, yes.
Why does one make sense for you?
Well, I think 2 is a good thing if you can pull it off. Those practices are so good because you get a true evaluation of your roster. You watch our guys work out here. After about 2 weeks of work versus our offense, they kind of figure out the player they're playing against, they figure out the scheme they're playing against. But you bring a different team in here, different players, different scheme, then you get a true evaluation of your talent. So I think having 2 is awesome if you can pull it off. So, we've got Chicago coming out. I think week 2 of preseason. So they're going to work 2 days against us. So I'm looking forward to that because you get a chance to see a different style of offense, different players, and you can evaluate your roster. It's a true evaluation.
On Tuesday, you mentioned that staying healthy was one of your 6 goals for minicamp. What were some of the other goals?
Well, just to continue to establish our play, our play style, to build our library for the fall. A couple more things I won't share with you, but number 6 was stay healthy, and I think we lost one guy, Mount, for the year in the offseason, and that's one too many.
Do you feel like it was a successful camp than the other 5?
Absolutely, it was.
Scouting report on that new number 58 guy with the dreads.
Who's that guy?
Some new guy in camp.
He lost a bet, so he had to wear a wig for a day.
You decide the
Last one,
backup-
James?
You decide the backup quarterback job, or is that going to go into camp?
That's going to go into camp.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your summer, guys.